Hello, everybody. I'm your host, A2K. To welcome in. We're going to continue with the run we were doing. I think it was Monday night we were streaming. American Truck Simulator. Anyhow, we didn't get to finish that run before the stream wrapped up. So we're going to finish that run and, we'll go from there. We'll see how things pan out. And, yeah. Anyhow, without further ado, we're going to kick off into that and, go and check out some stuff and see what's what. All right, let's go. Okay. And I think we're good to go. Okay. Farm machinery update. Wait a minute. There's some, bringing a small free update to the farm machinery that includes new cargo. Oh, nice. So we're getting a little bit more on the DLC that we got earlier. So the open beta is available to try, and then of course the update for the T680 is coming out. Nice. Okay, so some updates. Awesome. Cool. Let's continue in. There we go. What's going on, Live Gaming? Doing good yourself? Hopefully great. Had a blast doing PanzerConf earlier today. Had people in Discord, was helping out a new player, tons of fun. But we're here now, finishing off this run, and then we'll go from there. We'll see what happens. Okay, so we're going from Beaumont, Texas to Port Angeles, or Port Angels, whatever you want to call it, in Washington. So yeah, quite a trip. We got bing-bonged quite a bit along the way, but hey, we're here. I think we got a 4% damage to the load, but it's okay. Yeah, let's see how badly damaged are we again? 5, 16, and 4. Oof. Okay. Oh, taking the wrong turn at Albuquerque there almost. There we go. So we refueled at the end of last stream, and that's where we called it just shy of 2,000 miles, or sorry, 1,900. And I think we started off something like, I think it was like 2,800 or something. It was something crazy. Anyhow. Yeah, I'm good. I missed that. I was working. Hey, how was work today? Hopefully it was good. You still doing the 2 days search and rescue, or are you back 100% full time now? Search and rescue? Yeah. Oh yeah, that's right. This week you're giving it this week, and then next week you're going back. Yeah, that's right. I was getting my weeks messed up. It happens. Shit, I don't even know what day of the week it is half the time anymore. So, but I'm glad you're getting back into the swing of things. I'm sure you're enjoying being out of the house and getting back into the swing of things. Yeah. So I mean, oh crap, work one day, 2 days off, and then you go, okay. So you do a day, take 2 off, then do a day, and then you're off 2. And then, yeah. Oh, yeah, because you do 24 on straight, and then it's 2 off. And then another 24. Okay. Ugh. I mean, the first 24 hours, you're probably like, oh, this sucks. But then when you get the next 24, you're like recovering, you're resting and all that. And then the worst thing is you just get like where you're like, oh, okay. Then boom, back at it again, and you're like, oh man. Why like Saturday and Sunday's too short. I honestly can see I can see eventually perhaps we're all gonna move to, oh, I'm gonna crash here. Shit, I knew it. My car saves just when I ding dong it too. Son of a bitch. I figure eventually things are gonna move to a 4-day work week. Probably, I mean, the trade-off might be people doing, an extra hour a day, and then going and having 4 days off, so you still get your 40 hours in, but you're not working, like 5 regular days, I guess. I don't know. I guess at the end of the day, I'm kind of on the fence about it, because it's like, okay, I wouldn't mind doing an extra hour. Like, you're there anyway, so it's like, okay, whatever, right? If you did an extra hour, if that meant you got, Friday, Saturday off, Friday, Saturday, Sunday off, you'd be like, okay. Most people would be cool with that. But I see that being mostly for like government offices and banks and shit, not like food industry or anything else like that, where, there's no such thing as a Saturday or a Sunday. There's no such thing as holidays or anything else. I guess it's kind of messed up, because you have certain industries that flourish when, I guess, your main ones aren't running. Like a lot of businesses do the 9 to 5 thing. Yeah, okay, but how many businesses run from like 5 on to capitalize on those people? So it's like a dog chasing its own tail. Pardon me. Yeah, you just get used to it. Good job most of the time. You sleep at night, but you still got to get up. Well, that's the thing when the alarm goes off, right? Sometimes we could do an extra 4 to 6 hours on a call. Yeah, that's the crappy thing. I bet you everybody and their mother, the last like 2 hours of a shift, everybody's like, okay, nobody say a word, nobody look at the clock, nobody do anything. Like all the superstitions come out. And then of course you probably have there's always like one dude that, either don't know no better or unintentionally jinxes it. Then the alarm bells go off and you're like, damn it. You're like, well, sorry folks, not gonna be home early today. Yeah, I like the new guys so that it's a bit quiet. Then you get slammed. Yep. Yeah. New guy makes a stupid comment like, oh yeah, well, it's kind of quiet around here. You guys don't get, didn't think it was going to be this bad or something stupid like that. Then all of a sudden, bing bong. And it never fails. Never fails. My thing that used to piss me off is I used to be in property management. So we would go like Monday to Friday, your regular shift, and then you'd have on-call weekends where basically it'd be like, one person responsible for, an area or an amount of units. And what used to piss me off is people literally would wait until like, and we would wrap up at like 4:30. Literally people would wait till like 3:30, 4 o'clock and then call and then expect and demand service. And it's like you had all week and you go there and the problem you're looking at didn't just happen right then and there. And you're like, you mother... I'm like, you had all week, really? And then finally we got fed up and we just said, you know what? Screw you. It was like, oh, okay, you want to wait all week to report this issue? Okay, no problem. It's not an emergency. See you Monday. And that pissed them off. But eventually they stopped doing that shit. Or the worst is they would call like emergency service. And it's like, no, it's not an emergency. Sorry. Be like, oh, my sink's clogged. Oh, okay. Well, do you got another sink? Well, in the bathroom. Oh, well, there you go. See you Monday. And they'd get all pissed off. They'd be like, what? And then be like, okay, yeah, think about it. I go, you just think you're entitled to all this you know, all this wonderful stuff. But think about it. You want your monthly bills to be X, okay? Well, okay, let's evaluate here. Your kitchen sink's clogged. Okay. If I can't clear it, that means I got to call in, a plumber. Okay, well, if I got to call a plumber in, well, guess what? He's going to charge me overtime rates. Well, where do you think I'm getting that money out of? You think I'm going to pay $400 to $600, a call on a, 2-3 hour minimum call? Because you couldn't be asked to wait till a Monday when then it's normal business hours. So instead of $400 to $600 an hour or a call, it's maybe $100 or $200. It's like, really? But it's like, okay, you want to cost all this money, but you don't want to pay none of it. I'm just like, there's only so much in a bucket. Eventually that bucket's going to dry up, and then, what are you going to do? People are just weird, I suppose. Surely you've got some tools you can undo the pipe, clean that shit out. Oh, no. I mean, yeah, you can do all that. But think about it. I've just been at work all week, and because you want to be a lazy twat and you wait until Friday at 4:30 instead of calling Tuesday when you did it. Oh, now I've got to sit behind extra to do because you're lazy? No, sorry. Further to that, I'm gonna go into I'm gonna go get a snake, and I'm gonna go into what do you call it, a double. Basically what you had like a back-to-back, so you'd have two 1.5 inches going into a main stack, and you'd get a clog. So the back-to-backs were fun, because if you couldn't plunge it out, you had to snake it out. And sometimes you're into like the main stack and you're snaking like an SOB because they wanted to put rice down the drain or some other stupid shit. It's like, no. So it was the housing industry I was in. It was kind of like council housing for you guys, right? So it was mixed. Like you had, whatever. Shit, missed my turn. You had whatever, but the majority of it was like council living. And it's like, okay, wait a minute. It's not like it's like a big to-do corporation that's got like, hundreds upon hundreds of dollars that are, coming out of its pocket. And these are the same people that are like, oh, well, why is my rent going up? Well, what the fuck do you think is going to happen? You start costing the corporation, tens upon tens of thousands of dollars. Well, especially, you know, if you're not for profit. I mean, something's got to give. Can't have your cake and eat it too, kind of thing. Come on, let's go over here. Come on. There we go. Don't tell me I jammed it. Yep. Fuck. Take this 4 minutes ago. Yeah. I was on about the idiot on the phone not stopping them cleaning out, because normally on the U-bend it gets stuck. Yeah, I mean, normally, but then we have, you know, people that'll go and they'll try and do that themselves, and they'll end up like the mess that they create is just like, at that point you're better off you're better off just going and doing it yourself, because the clusterfuck they're going to create, because they don't know any better. And the worst part is then they'll go and they'll get like chemicals, and they'll throw chemicals down the drain, and you don't know what they put down the drain, and you're like, did you put anything down the drain to help clear this out? No, nothing. Meanwhile, you know, you run the risk of potentially, you know, making mustard gas there in your own fucking in the unit, not realizing, you know, they could have put acid, they could have put chlorine, who knows what the hell they could have put down the damn drain to help try and clear it out. So you run that risk of getting that shit all over you as well. Yeah, people are just, you know, sometimes people are just stupid. Because the attitude was, well, it's not mine, I don't give a shit. You know, I pay rent, so, you know, you gotta fix it. Who gives a fuck? Not my money, I don't care kind of attitude. And it's like, wait a minute, like, you live here, like, this is your home. Would you not want it to be nice? Some people just don't care. It's unfortunate, you know. You have some people that do care, and, you know, they take care of things, but, you know, like I said, you have some people it's just like, fuck me, man. And, like, that's just one thing. I mean, we had people like, you know, they would like throw things down like garbage chutes that had no business being down a garbage chute, like a fucking queen size bed frame, like the metal bed frame. They would literally try to throw down a garbage chute, which was meant to like take, like, you know, like those small little maybe 4 to 10 liter bags worth of, you know, garbage, like a garbage pail that size, like household. They would like throw down bed frames and like just all kinds of shit because they were just too fucking lazy. Like, we had like a bulk bin for them to cart away all this bulk garbage for them for free. All they had to do is, like, we told them, it's like, meet us halfway. We'll get rid of it for you. We won't charge you for it. Just put it in the bin. That's all you got to do. Put it in the bin. Fuck me, man. The amount of times, you know, you'd see shit in around the bin, all over the bin. Times that, you know, people smoking cigarettes and flicking cigarette butts in there, setting the shit on fire. Fire department coming out. Just, I'm telling you. Half the time I'm there and I'm like, I swear to God, it's like, it's literally, I'm like, it's like two brain cells fighting each other on the regular. And I'm there shaking my head. I'm just like, I'm just like, what kind of like, I can't believe it. And it's funny because the same people that'll fuck shit up are the same ones complaining, oh, it's not a palace that they're living in. And it's like, well, wait a minute, like, you know, come on now. Like, you're contributing to filth. Somebody's got to clean it up. That's, people don't do that shit for free. So you're costing a non-profit or organization a shit ton of money. So instead of taking that money and investing it into things that you want, they've now got to invest it in things just to keep, you know, try to keep maintaining what there currently is. It's like, okay, something's got to give here. Like, clue in. So you get one of those waste disposals that grind all the crap up if you want to put that down the sink. No, even that wouldn't work because some idiot would put something down the quote-unquote waste disposal system, like they'll put like a damn fork down there or something. Trust me. we honestly, I used to go to trade shows and they're like, oh, you know, our stuff is indestructible. It's like, you know, and they're like boasting all this shit. And I told them, I said, tell you what, I said, bring your product down. If it can last 24 hours here, said, you got yourself a deal. Not a single fucking thing could have lasted 24 hours there. It's like, honestly, it's like we were running a place of like 2-year-olds. People would like just pull the fire alarm because it was something to do, to the point where like the fire department, like I could hear the bells going off in their station. And this is how close we were. I could hear the bells in their station going off, and I could hear them leaving their station, the firehouse, and coming over. And literally, like, you just noticed the response time just got a little bit slower, a little bit slower, and a little bit slower. It got to the point where the district chief would come out and the captains would come out, and I'd just meet them at the truck and I'd be like, yeah, it's false. And they're like, what? And I'm like, yeah, it's false. I'm like, somebody yanked the alarm. And they're like, okay. And somebody's like, oh, can't you just reset it? And I'm like, nope. I know how to reset it, but I can't clear it until, you know, the captain or whoever's in charge of the scene clears it. I'm like, if I clear that alarm and silence those bells before that person says go ahead, I'm like, that's insta-fine right there. I go, I ain't got that kind of money. So I'm like, nope. it got to the point where I knew the firehouse and I knew pretty much every firefighter on every truck that came, whether it was engine, ladder, pump, you know, rescue, you name it. It was funny as shit. They would pull up and they'd be like, hey, and I'd be like, hey. I'd be like, sorry guys, and they're like, yeah, we know. I mean, it got to the point where the captain appreciated it because he's like, okay, I don't have to carry the tank and the respirator and all that, and the axe or the fork, I can't remember what they called it, but use it to pry open doors. It's got like a fork end and then it's got like a flat on the other end, and you normally put it into the door, sledge it, and yank the door open, kind of thing. You know what I'm talking about. A Halligan, there we go, yeah. It was like there, I just couldn't remember the name of it. And you never know. Hey, we could call it that. So another country call it something else, right? Main thing is I know what the tool looks like. I can describe the tool, and I know what it's used for, and I know how to use it. So it's like, yeah. My favorite is the damn, like if somebody got stuck in an elevator because they were like idiots jumping up and down in the elevator, and it got to the point where like they were going to use the Halligan on the elevator door and pop it, and I'm like, please God, don't, please. And they're like, oh, but it couldn't be a medical emergency. I'm like, it's not a medical emergency, they're fine. Well, how do you know? And I go, I've talked to them, they're fine. Oh, but we need to confirm. I'm like, you guys can confirm. I go, just don't pop the fucking door with the Halligan, because that busts the damn door, and then I don't have an elevator for 2 or 3 days because somebody wanted to be stupid, and it costs an arm and a leg. Got to the point where like literally I would bring them in and I'd be like, look, here's a like live video inside the elevator car, here's a phone, you can actually communicate directly with them, and you can confirm everything's a-okay. It got to that point. Like, it got ridiculous. And the fucked up thing is, this is the fucked up thing. I like the amount of stress and bullshit that I had to deal with in that job on a daily basis was redunculous. Just absolutely redunculous. Like, I honestly, I had people telling me like, are you mental? Are you good? Like, why are you doing this? But I'm not gonna lie, part of me still misses it. That's the fucked up thing about it. It's, it's fucked up. I mean, I guess the part that I miss the most, to be fair, is the ability to change somebody's life in a small way. Like a simple mundane task. Like sometimes something as simple as fixing a stove burner for them, or as silly as it sounds, swapping out a light bulb for somebody that might not physically be able to do so. Just those little kind of things. That I enjoyed doing that. That was, for me, that was kind of a good thing. It was, just small little things that you could do to bring some positivity to somebody. So, yeah. Other days it was just like, ugh. I mean, and I think the worst part for me is I can't even, honestly, I probably can't even count the amount of weekends, holidays, birthdays, you know, you name it, Christmases even, where, you know, I had to work. And I missed out on so much. You know what I mean? Like that's probably one of the biggest regrets. But you know, and dealing with a lot of the crap that I dealt with and seeing things that the amount of times I seen it and dealt with it and was exposed to it, you know, just certain things, it's just kind of like most people would be like, yeah, no, we're out. You know, giving up everything I gave up, sacrificing everything I sacrificed, you know, including, you know, hey, I'm sure at some times people are probably like, your sanity. You know, and what, just shy of 15 years, you go off on a medical, not because you wanted to, but because, you know, you had to. Come, you know, fight to try and come back because, you know, they're fucking around with you. Only to have them go, you know, and against doctors' wishes, of course. Only to have them go, oh well, you know, here's your envelope. You know, thanks for, you know, 15 years, but see ya. I'm just treating you like a number. I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? And I'm like, and it pissed me off. Not one to be tossed aside like that, like nothing. But especially after, you know, doing everything that I accomplished, in spite of everything, which is something they'll never be able to take away from me. You know, especially doing what they said couldn't be done. Like even within the own organization, there was people like, no, they can't do it. There's no way. It won't happen. It's impossible. You know, just completely writing things off. And you know, I remember me just getting pissed off, heading back to my office, looking at my team and saying, you know what? Fuck them. Not only are we going to do it, we're going to do it faster, better, cleaner, and we're going to run a tighter ship than they think that we could. And we're going to prove them wrong on purpose. Because I had that drive. Like, nobody could tell me no. You know, it was like, no, you can't have this. No, you can't do this. I was like, screw you, I'm gonna do it. And I did it. You know, and to an extension, you know, we did it, my team. You know, it's one thing that still, I'm sure, burns their ass on a regular. That, you know, at some point, you know, they probably looked in the mirror and said, yeah, we fucked up. And I wish I had the satisfaction of seeing it, or knowing it, or hearing it. But I can live with having it in the noggin. Because I know they're too spiteful to admit it, but I know. And it's, you know, it's something that they can't take away. Because in spite of all this shit, and in spite of all of them going, no, you can't do it, you can't do it, I was like, fuck you, I did it. So I guess maybe part and parcel, I miss that aspect of how life used to be. Like, it didn't matter your educational background, didn't matter, like, nothing mattered. It was, you know, did you have the drive, did you have the willpower to make it happen? If given the shot, could you do it? And, you know, having my shot and doing it, especially when everybody was like, you can't, there's no way. So, and the screwed up thing is, you know, I'm sure it's long forgotten. You know, people aren't going to remember the one pebble that was tossed into the calm waters that created the ripples to the waves that they're riding now. But, you know, I'll be able to carry it with me and be able to take it with me and say, hey, I did that. So, fuck them. That's what you get with a corporation. Just any, not just a corporation, but anywhere. I mean, don't get me wrong. There's always an exception to the rule. Always. But I would say, generally speaking, for about, I'd say 90-95% of people out there, it's just the way of the world. It's unfortunate, but it's the way of the world. Like, the big push now is AI. Okay, keep pushing. You're gonna give up something. You just don't realize it yet. But maybe you do realize, and you just don't care. You know what I mean? But, like, at the end of the day, something's got to give. And with AI, you're gonna see, from a strictly financial standpoint, you can't fault, you know, if you're looking just for profit and you don't care about anything else, just cold hard accounting. Yeah, it's cheaper to run AI than it is perhaps humans in many industries. You know, you've seen it with, for example, car manufacturing. You know, 80s, 90s, and early millennium, when, you know, you had less people working on the lines and you had more not people, but you had more machinery and robotics taking over those jobs. Well, I mean, we've already seen it with robotics. What do we think we're going to see with AI? Pretty soon you're not going to need people that create anymore, with an exception of, you know, maybe a few here or there. But, you know, Actors, no. I mean, shit. You look at social media nowadays. You know, you can still somewhat tell, but on a daily basis, it's getting harder and harder to tell what is AI and what's not AI. I should have hit the brakes sooner. Damn it. But oh my god, this load's gonna be like worthless by the time I get there. But you know, like music. Like, was it there was an artist, was it Drake? I think somebody created an AI song that, like, literally people thought it was Drake himself dropping the song, and it wasn't. It was AI. So it's like, eesh. It's gonna be scary. I mean, beyond that, of course, you got people who think AI is going to give birth to the next, basically the Terminators, which, yeah, I don't know, maybe not in my lifetime, but I'm sure eventually it'll get there. I mean, you know, man has, I mean, man is in, like, the human race. We have hubris where we think, you know, and for the most part, you know, we're at the top of the food chain. And we've been there so long, you know, because of, you know, the space between two ears that, you know, we haven't had a good reality check. I mean, realistically, I mean, you know, everybody throw their Alex Jones conspiracy tinfoil hats on here for a second. But realistically, you know, all it would take is like a really good rogue AI to take over the financial markets and everything like that. You shut down everybody's money, lock it all up, shut it down. Then what? At the same time, then all of a sudden you just, you know, seize as many military assets as possible. What are you gonna do? Shit, what if AI turns into fucking Ultron? I mean, there's fictions and conspiracy theories and just, you know, novels and movies and shows and all. I mean, that idea comes from somewhere. I'm a firm believer in the midst of all the bullshit. There tends to be a little tinge of truth and reasoning and logic behind it, and you know, perhaps there's evidence of it already. I mean, shit, what was it? I was seeing there was like drone races, and you know, finally they had an AI that beat a human. And it's like, okay, well, that didn't take long. Because yes, while the human brain is just infinitely faster than anything we can legitimately create. You know, we're bottlenecking. So yeah, AI just takes people's jobs. I mean, yeah, there's a potential to do that. It all depends on the applications of it. Like if you use, for example, like in the medical field, if you use AI to, you know, maybe help diagnose or, you know, help a surgeon with, you know, surgery, not performing it, but maybe like map it out for him in his brain. Like you can kind of just go, okay, boom. Like more of like an assistant than, you know, an actual entity or power or whatever have you, you know, to take over that role. You know, depending on the application, it could help. I mean, case in point, you look at Iron Man with Jarvis. You know what I mean? Just kind of, obviously it's, you know, Iron Man coming up with the ideas, but the soundboard and the testing mechanism is fed off of Jarvis. Like, I know for me, I could probably benefit from AI by taking, like, kind of like what I have in the noggin and envisioning it and putting it into practical use. You know what I mean? Like, there's things that I would like to create, but maybe I don't have the right software. Maybe I just don't have the right skills, or my skill set isn't there to do it. So could AI potentially help with that? Yeah. Like, I know, like, right now, you know, musically, creatively, I could probably put words together relatively easy, but finding that banger beat or creating that, you know, the actual musical notes to go with the words to make it into, you know, a banger finished product, you know, hey, yeah, I know, I'd be like, so there's practical uses for it. But again, I think if we maintain keeping it as a tool, you know, kind of like for you, a Halligan versus, you know, a firefighter, I think that's where it could work and be beneficial. I mean, imagine rolling up to a scene and it's like, okay, hey, give me structural analysis. Where's, you know, how much time do you estimate? You know, where's the best thing of entry? You already have in your mind, you know, what's what, right? But it could be as a tool to help you, because you could look at it and be like, okay, what's the rate of success if we go through this entry or we do this plan? You know, kind of that real time, quick, just boom, help, not make the decision for you, but help by just giving you the data that you might not have. Right? Because you can only play the cards that are dealt to you. But if somebody could slip you an ace, that can be quite handy when you need it, right? So, again, application. But the potential there to take over and take over jobs and replace jobs, yeah, it's very, very tempting. Because think about it, AI doesn't need time off. AI doesn't need, a pay raise. AI doesn't need, whatever have you. Here's a list of tasks. Boom, do it. You don't have, personalities and different stuff you have to micromanage, right? It's like, okay, take item A from point, 1 and move it to point 3. Pick up item B at point 3, move it to point 1. Right? So that kind of thing. So from like a straight profit thing, yeah, because in theory you wouldn't have to worry about retirement, you wouldn't have to worry about replacement, you wouldn't have to worry about all the things that in an essence you worry about and deal with as far as a human being, right? So yeah, if you're the dude signing the checks and paying all the bills, it's very, very tempting. Especially if you can get the same productivity, if not more, at a fraction of the cost. You're thinking, oh shit, well, hey, if I can save 50%, well, sorry guys, I'm going to save 50%. So that's kind of where I would think it's at. I think maybe perhaps AI hasn't fully got to that point yet, but I don't think it's going to take long. If they like kind of let it go, I don't think it'll take long at all. Because again, it's not per se as bottlenecked as the human brain, so it can like just boom 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 absorb, learn and go. And of course potentially find efficiencies that we didn't see. So yeah, it's gonna be interesting for the next 50 years what happens with the human race. What I would worry about more likely is just the thing that worries me is the more menial work, like, and I don't mean menial like looking down on people, but I think you're gonna see, like you've got self-driving trucks soon. So pretty soon, to go from point A to point B, you're not going to need a truck driver anymore. So what is that going to do to the trucking industry? All right, so like there's all kinds of crap like that that you got to worry about. Do I see like doctors and lawyers and all that? No, I think the higher educational needing positions, like in fields like like STEM fields, or depending on robotics and AI and how that works, you might have menial jobs. I keep saying menial, and forgive me for that, but I mean more like I can put like everyday kind of jobs, like jobs you would expect, like maybe like the younger generation who's just starting out to get into, like fast food jobs. You're going to see those potentially go for AI and robots. You know, construction work, like the trades, stuff like that. You know, which is unfortunate. Because, I mean, trades has always been, you know, a good field to get into because, you know, you can make a killer living out of it, because 9 out of 10 times you're doing all the jobs that nobody wants to do anyway. But you know, additionally, it's not like you know, to some extent, it's not like you need, you know, 12 PhDs and 6 masters and 12 doctorates and in quantum physics or whatever else have you to you know, learn how to lay floor tiles, or you know, how to, you know, build a house or anything like that. So it's going to be interesting. I mean, perhaps, you know, like I said, perhaps it's something I'm not going to have to deal with in my lifetime, which is, could be a good thing, could be a bad thing. You know, it is what it is. I'm not gonna lie, I was kind of hoping to have the oh shit, have the Star Trek kind of experience. But clearly not in my lifetime. But you wonder if something like that would be possible. You know, just in theory. Where, you know, the human race stops worrying about money and trivial bullshit and just all comes together for the betterment of everybody. Yeah, interesting. Wipers, I had it auto on. I thought it would automatically shut off and just didn't even think about it. Bit like we used to have the old-fashioned SCBA mask. Now we've got a heads-up display formal, helps you see people in the smoke. Yeah, like technology like that is so helpful. Technology like that is like, that's what I mean. Like, yeah, if AI could be used for something like that, oh, gazoon height, somebody sneezing up a storm around here. Oh, rest area, good. Oh no, it's just rest. I need repair and refuel. But no, technology like that would be great. Like if AI could be used for something like that, that would be great. This damn corporation government making us have this digital British ID card. It's got to be linked to the bank account. Social media is just a way of them collecting data. Unfortunately, it's not an opt-out. Yeah, that's fucked up, dude. I think they're trying to do something like that over here in Canada, and it's just like... Dude, it's scary, because it just... You know, I know a place in the world that it's already kind of somewhat like that, where, you know, you kind of almost have a social score, and very quickly you can be locked out of everything. Like, you'll notice the push now, like slowly but surely you'll notice the push away from like just cold hard raw cash in your hand to, you know, digital payments, debit cards, credit cards, you know. Shit, I missed the refuel area there, damn it. I should have enough fuel to make it to the next one. But, yeah, that quiet little push away from actual hard currency in your hands. Because that you can't control. To a certain extent. They're trying to figure out a way to do that, I'm sure. But yeah, I mean, you know, I'm sure somebody had the bright idea. It's like, oh, well, hey, let's get a way to kind of check in on you legally, where, you know, in the name of your safety, your security, you know. Oh, well, you know, what did you post on social media? Oh, okay. I know to some extent that's already going on. But it's like, okay. What did you say? Oh, you critical of this? Yeah, okay. All of a sudden you go to pull out, like, let's say, you know, $100 to go and buy some groceries and put petrol in your car. Oh, well, you know, access tonight. Well, what? Why? Oh, you know, we just want to make sure there's no fraudulent activity on the account, you know, we're for your safety and all. Lock it in for like a week. Do the repairs. So yeah, I'm sure that'll come about. Slowly but surely, everything we take for granted, you know, slowly but surely, it'll get whittled or absorbed or something else. They're also going to pay a per mile tax for driving on top of insurance, road tax, fuel. They're trying to make it impossible to live at. Well, there you go. They got it over here that they're wanting to ban petrol operated vehicles you got to have an electric vehicle. It's like, okay, how are you farming with that? Last time I checked, they didn't make a good fucking a harvester or a combine or a plow that could handle all that. But you know, what do we know, right? Oh, you mother. Like, are you kidding me, car? Like, really? I just repaired. But yeah, what are you gonna do? I just find common sense isn't so common anymore. You see the writing on the wall. You can tell people are nefarious. You can see people are like just full of shit. But you know, every 4 years, let's put a checkbox in that box and then wonder why. Been the same shit day in, day out, and only getting worse on a daily basis. The very definition of insanity, doing the same shit over and over and over again, but expecting a different result. But, you know, each to their own. Sooner or later, you know, when shit really hits the fan, people will wake up and they'll be like, oh, fuck. Well, congratulations. As I often say, play stupid games, you win stupid prizes. Here you go, buddy. Open up your box of fucking clown shoes. I'll leave it at that. I said you can't fix stupid. No sense in trying, no sense in worrying about it, no sense in trying to figure it out. It's just like, okay, it is what it is. My field of fucks lay barren. Oh, of course. At the end of the day, let's be honest, nothing you can do about it. Nothing you can do about it. Like, I thought it was absurd what I'd seen. Like, what? Like, regardless of what side of the coin you're on, I don't give a shit. Really, I don't. But, like, it just puzzled me, like, just seeing kind of what happened in the US as far as like, you know, when they do their every 4-year thing, checking the box, just the recounts and the scandals and the this and the that's and all this shit. And I'm like, are you kidding me? I'm like, okay. And then I was like, you know, again, hubris, thinking, nah, wouldn't happen here. Sure as fuck, the amount of recounts and fucking shit all over this last one that we had, I was like, oh my god. And just like the tampering, like proof to the point, the people that were doing it were just, yeah, we did it, we're gonna do it again. And it's like, are you like, what? Dude, I'm telling you, I'll probably end up getting banned, so I'm yeah, I won't go in on it further, and I'll just drop it there. But just the amount of shit just that continues to come up astonishes me. It's just, yeah. Trust me, and the way they're handing out bans now like candy. It's like, yeah, okay. I will say the guy from the OG Matrix got it right when he was having the steak dinner. Ignorance is bliss. I don't know how much YouTube you get of other locations and stuff, live gaming, but yeah, there's a dude. I'll try and find the link for you, and I'll send it to you. But yeah, just having a gander at it, and it's just like watch and listen to the stupidity that goes on, and you'll be like, are you fucking kidding me? 400 miles to go. Hopefully, I'm just trying to save as much as I can now, even though they tax my savings now, and some BS thinking of moving back to Australia. Be a better life, and on top of that, your weight is over there is a lot better. Well, as they say, the grass is always greener on the other side. Ugh. And the question is, would you really want to start all over? Yeah, you got to pick up everything. You know, if you have any property there, you got to take care of that stuff. You know, you got all that crud to deal with, and then, you know, that's quite a plane ride. You know, regardless of whether you go east or west, it's still a plane ride. Then on top of that, you got to get all your belongings shipped or replaced. I mean, a lot of these roads here just remind me of, like, this. The scenery kind of reminds me a lot of, you know, Canadian locations. It's funny. Wonder if Painless is lurking. I don't know if he's here lurking because you got Skull and Bones installed, and we were supposed to fart around with that, but I don't know if he's here or... Doing plus 90 mile an hour now. Flying. Ooh, boy. Oh, shit. Oh, shit. That one wasn't a good one. Let's see if there's an autosave before that. Oh, my God. 4 minutes ago. Okay, we'll load that one because yeah, that load is a write-off. Oh my God. I hit that car at like, what, 94 mile an hour? Oof. Oof. Yeeks. Pit maneuvered myself. We didn't go too far behind, so it's all good. We'll catch up pretty quick. You clipped it, son of a bitch. Yep. It was rip. Just there driving around, just rip. But I'm just, this run went from 294,000 potential profit to, yeah, I'll be lucky if I made 2/3 that by the time we get there. This is just This is horrendous. I'm getting bing bonged here. This is what happens when you drive too fast, yeah. Well, the worst thing is it's the AI, because I'm trying to like avoid them, and you're like right up to the second of where you pass them, like, and you make it past them. You're literally like waiting for them to, like, you know, pull over into your lane or do something stupid. You know, the traditional shit that they do. Like right now they'll pull over into my lane, and I'm like, it's like you don't see the big truck coming. And look, see, he pumped brake checked right there. Not even in his lane, brake check. Holy Jesus. Oh yeah, worry about not just cars, other trucks on the road too. The last 250 miles, give or take. Is it going to roll over? I was going to say, that's a long dragged out mile. Ooh. I drove between 60 and 70, even slower if there's some good scenery around. Yeah. They got like, don't get me wrong, like some gorgeous scenery, like this right here. And I like graphically how, like, you can see the rays of sunlight just brushing through the trees. It's just nice. Like, it amazes me seeing, graphics, how it's evolved. Makes you wonder. My favorite is going down the coast. It looks good. Yeah, yeah. There's some, like I said, there's some gorgeous scenery in this game. And like each DLC, like every state that they add, I mean, it's just, there's always something. But it's funny. I bet you there's people in those states that are just like, huh? Are you talking about that stretch of highway? Ugh, okay. I'm sure that's the way it is everywhere. If you live there, you take it for granted, but, you know, seeing it, you're just like, wow. Like, I know there's parts of Canada I haven't seen, like, physically, like, been there, but just some of the photography and video I've seen of those locations, I'm just like, it's breathtaking. Like some of the locations, I'm like, you're like, okay, no, that's no way that can be Canada. And sure as hell it is, and you're like, wow. I'm sure it's like every country, you know what I mean? I'm still sure there's certain parts of like the UK or wherever have you, and you go, and I guess more in Europe you see it. Like there's sections of Europe that you can tell it's kind of like somebody stopped the clock. You know what I mean? You can very easily look back and see a lot of history. You know, compared to, let's say, um, like New York City or like Tokyo. You know what I mean? Like the main imagery that everybody gets in their head as soon as you say those cities. Pity there's not an option to take a more scenic route. Yeah, that would be nice if they added that. You know, you could turn on like, or even a mod like the scenic route, and it would deliberately, you know, it would extend your contracts out drastically, but it would just take you on the scenic routes to you know, your destinations. But then again, I guess it's all relative, right? Like something that's scenic to you might not be scenic to me. But I mean, you could have a general idea. I guess you could go with that. But yeah. But yeah, no, that would be nice. The UK best scenic place is Wales, Scotland, Lake District. Just like, yeah. That's why I've got a waypoint if I want to do it just like that. Oh, right on. I might do that one day. Just like pick a contract and then just kind of make my own way there. Like hit my waypoints how I want. That'd probably be nice. I might try that. Deliberately not take I guess whatever route the GPS gives me. Just kind of make my own. An odd question. I don't know if you guys experience this over in the UK or not. But what the hell is it with every show nowadays having like a musical episode? Like, was it? I binge watched Star Trek Strange New Worlds. Great series. I think it was season 2, episode 9. They had this like musical kind of thing, and I'm like, I mean, I guess it made sense how they tied it together, but I was just like, really? Is it really necessary? I don't know. Maybe it was just the time that was filmed and thought of that was the trend, the fad. Like every show was doing it. Was it like Lucifer did it, and it just like so many shows are doing it, and I'm just like instant next. Like the second I see that, like to me, it just almost signals, okay, you know what, the writers have come up, like they've got no ideas, and it's kind of like, okay, well, let's just throw in some shit for the sake of throwing it in, and yeah, the show's pretty much gonna wrap up. And sure as fuck, every time they do it, that's exactly what happens. And now I'm reading that the show's gonna end. I think they're giving it another season or two, but it's gonna end, and it's like that fucking musical episode. It's like a curse. It's just Lucifer, same thing. They did the musical episode. Sure as fuck. Not too long after that. Yep. Okay, we're wrapped up. Thanks for tuning in and watching. Bye. that was a show that, like, Lucifer was, like, to me, it was an interesting show. I like different things. I just felt like there was more they could have done with it before they kind of wrapped up where they wrapped up. You know, like the first season, first couple episodes, I'm like stretch that out a bit. You know, or kind of have more of, you know, like that, explore that aspect of it. But yeah, no. No, let's stick a musical episode in and just fucking kill the show. It is what it is. I wouldn't know. I don't watch TV. Sometimes Netflix, but not very often. That guy, that's the devil. I watch that. Yeah. Tom Ellis. Like, I thought he did the part great. I thought it was a great casting. Great casting choice. You know, kind of. How do I put it? Like, I don't know. It wasn't like. It wasn't like, oh, cute face, boom, kind of plant. Like, you know what I mean? I think it just, like, his appeal naturally came about, you know, with the character and you know, his influence into it and stuff like that. Like, it wasn't, like, it didn't feel like overt to me, like, because you can see some castings, it's just like, okay, we know what you're doing here. Like, okay, whatever. But that one episode, I was like, what the heck? Yeah, the singing episode. I'm like, what the heck? Why? Where the hell did that? I'm like, really? Oh, no, wrong way. But yeah, I seen it and I was like, what the, like, why? Go. Oh, we'll see how bad it was. Reasonable. Oh boy. It's supposed to be 294,000. Oh, I took a $92,000 hit. See, I knew it. 2/3. Got a nice big jump in XP though. That was decent. But yeah, 92,000 in hit. Yikes. Oh well, it was a hit. We got it. Yeah, it definitely hurt. I think I only had what, 6% trailer damage? Or not trailer damage, load damage. Because I know if you take load damage, like trailer damage, you don't really get dinged. It's when they damage the load. That's when you get like screwed. Still not driving the new truck? No, the update 155 is in beta. They haven't released it yet. So I'm waiting for that. Let's see here. Painless around. I'm trying to see if because I told Painless we were going to do Skull and Bones, but I'm just trying to have a quick look to see if he is around, because if he is, then great. If not, then we can just continue on with this, because hey, I want to keep my word, right? It's important. Boom, 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 boom. Well, I guess not. The one you bought the other day, or did you? Is an Asia? No. I just I configured it, but I saved it. I didn't buy it. I didn't buy it. Oh, here's the. I just whispered you the link of what I was talking about, of just like the utter stupidity that goes on. I mean, in your own time, if you want to watch it, you don't have to, but just kind of like I shake my head at it all the time. But yeah, the truck you're talking about is Truck Dealers. It's Kenworth. We were in Texas, so it would have been here. Buy online. Did it save? Hopefully it saved. Oh, what motherfucker! It didn't save it. Are you kidding? My fleet configurations. Let's see. No, it didn't. What a D-bag. It didn't save it. It should have saved it. Like, or does it matter like which? Kenworth? Maybe it was this one. Let's see. Maybe if it was different location. Stock? No. Oh shit! It didn't save it. Are you kidding me? I thought it saved the configure. Okay. Anyway, no, I didn't buy the truck yet. I just had it configured, and I was hoping to save it so that I was hoping it would save that configuration, because then when update 5.5 came out, that truck would have been there. So then I only would have had to have changed a couple of things. But yeah. Yeah. The new digital dash doesn't come until update 1.55. Yeah. I thought it would have saved it. My bad, it didn't. So crappy. Where are we now? Port Angeles, huh? Okay. What do we have? Shit, we came from Beaumont, Texas to Port Angeles. I think that's like... Yeah, so we came from like the south all the way up. All the way up to here. Wow. That was it's quite a travel. We're here to Hayes, Kansas. Jesus, no, I am not taking that. Screw that articulated trailer bull. I'd rather get punched in the bing bong. Ugh, a giant silo. Reservoir tank. Okay, I guess we'll take this. There we go. Take some trucks. 455 things. That's fine. We could have taken one of these loads, but I'm like, yeah, no. That red one in the corner there. We'll go up here and... Oh, Jesus. We'll go up here, get this repair done, and then refuel and whatnot. Bada bing, 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 bong. Tires, we'll leave that. That's fine. I'm gonna have to replace this truck. It's getting a little long in the tooth. I don't know when the wear and tear, like the natural wear and tear, is gonna become an issue. Because I mean, tires at like 6%, you're like sliding all over the place. Didn't even know the 2014 T680 was getting a digital Yeah. Yeah, I did that. Customize the truck. I thought I'd get that later when I made a bit more money. Start all over. Yeah. They I guess they released it early because they wanted to do it part of the anniversary. So they worked with the manufacturer and kind of got all the specs and, you know, was able to release it. But I think the plan was later on down the road, like release it like how it was intended to be released. So I think that's why we're getting what we're getting in the update. So the digital dash just looks cleaner, in my opinion, than the analog look on them. I mean, in the engine choices and just the configurations that they have, I'm like, wow. because the new Freightliner Cascadia they brought out, I wasn't. It's like they underpowered it on purpose. It's like, yeah, no. Okay, what the hell? Ooh, ooh. Somebody pulled the cade. Look at that. Oh my god. All right, let's pick up these trucks. Hopefully they're here. Yeah, there we go. Okay. All right. That load. Sure as hell, like, packed it in pretty freaking tight here, boys. There we go. We got out. Easy peasy. So, yeah. Oh, look at that. That's a nice oldies truck there. God, I seen one of those on one of those car shows on Netflix. There we go. Damn, that fire truck is booting. Trying to catch up to him, use him as a blocker. We're on a 2-lane. Not gonna. Don't want to risk it. My luck, I'll get jammed up on the rail there and. All right, I gotta pass this guy now. We hit the middle markers. It's a crunch, and I'm like, oop, did we run over something? Did we make some roadkill? There we go. Now we're moving. Had a quick look, didn't see how it can look. Yeah, they've got there was an announcement for it. I think on the Steam page, it'll show you. One of the pictures has it. So if you you open up the Steam and you scroll down to the announcement, and you open it up. When you scroll down, there's several different pictures, but if you look, it's there. Like, I don't think you get as clear of a look at it as you do like what I'm looking at right now on my Freightliner, but you can see it. It does look pretty sharp. A little bit of a different layout than the Freightliner, it looks like, but for the most part, pretty close. Ooh, that was close. I thought I was a dunner there for sure. Okay, so the windshields turn on, and obviously they've adjusted as needed, which is cool. The automatic is working. It's a nice feature, the automatic setting. I just don't think it automatically shuts off after not needing it. So we'll see. Okay, coming up to Tacoma. Okay, she really automatically kicked up into overdrive. Those wipers is just going. And just slow down. It's a couple times almost lost it there. See if Painless comes by. Yeah, just turn off auto. No, like I wanted to see if they, I mean, I like that they auto come on and they auto adjust the speed as they need, which is a cool feature. I like that, but I want to see if it automatically turns off when there is no rain, which I don't think it does. Because ideally, I'd like to see if it does, because it kind of self-adjusts to speed. So it'd be kind of cool if it did. Because then, you know, I wouldn't need to worry about it. So I just want to see. Yeah, it does? Okay. Because it was okay, then I must have pressed something the last time we were playing this or earlier when the wipers were going and he reminded me to shut them off. Dude, that's gonna tell you how fucked up I am, dude, right now. I don't even remember if it was last stream or this stream, and it's only been like, what, 2 hours. I'm like, oh my god. Talk about squirrel brain. That's all good. I gotta go see a new doctor on the weekend. There's too many cars to pass right now. Oh, that's a nice rear view look there with the sunset. That is nice. Mrs. Kate's probably hearing the rain noises in the game and starting to doze off. Oh, I tease her all the time because she doesn't get like ASMR, right? Because there's stereotypes to it, right? But yeah, should put on rain sounds to help her fall asleep, right? And I'm like, you know what this is, right? And she's like, I know, it's ASMR. And me and the youngest daughter just bust out laughing. Because like there's some nights literally like I can't shut the brain off. Like I'm trying to go to sleep literally, and I'll just be like laying there and I'll be like, come on, go to sleep, go to sleep, go to sleep, go to sleep. And there's other times literally I'll just like lay down and then like 10 seconds later, boom, I'm out like a light. Pisses the wife off. She's like, how the hell do you do that? And I go, I don't know. But yeah, the like for the nights that I'm like literally like just there like staring at the ceiling, I'm like okay, well, trying to do all the typical tricks, like, you know, just breathing and you know, as silly as it sounds, like the counting of sheep and, you know, whatever have you. You know, the rain sounds and stuff like that, like just anything and everything. And then, you know, somebody's like, oh, I'll try, you know, ASMR. So I'm like, okay. So I went looking one night, as you do, and ooh, almost crashed there. And yeah, let's just say I got smacked with the stereotype very, very quickly. And I was just like, but it's surprisingly, I did find this one creator. You know, not your typical stereotypical kind of scene. And it was funny because my youngest comes up to me and she's like, oh, you know so and so, right? And I'm like, huh? She's like, oh yeah, you know, the person's cool and stuff like that. And I'm like, okay. It just struck me as odd. I'm like, how do you, what? And she's like, you know, like, Dad, it's like, you know, when you're like studying for exams and stuff like that and you're stressed out and you just want to, you know, relax, it helps. And I'm like, okay. And they're like, yeah, some people listen to like lo-fi beats and, you know, music and different kinds of things. And, you know, I was like, okay, you know. So then my curiosity got, you know, peaked because I'm like, okay, well, dad mode now. And it's like, okay, well, what the hell are you, you know, what are you into now, right? So, you know, I watched a bit, you know, the content, and I'm like, okay, I'm like wholesome. I'm like, okay, nothing, you know, to worry about is, you know, dad mode. So I'm like, okay. And then, you know, gradually I'm there and I'm just chilling and whatever have you. And they're like, oh, well, you know, put on my youngest is like, well, put on your headphones. You got really good headphones. I'm like, okay. And then, you know, it was funny. It was like there was a night where literally I couldn't sleep. And, you know, you're pacing and you're back and forth and the whole niner, and just tuned in, and then all of a sudden I started to, you know, start to nod off a bit, and I'm like, okay. I'm like, cool. And went to bed and had a good night's sleep and came away with a different appreciation of it. And I'm just like, okay. And I would have never have guessed in a million years, right? Or thought. So I'm like, okay, well, you know, growth, perspective, and, you know, experiencing different things. I'm like, okay, well, you know. I'm like, okay, cool. I get it. So yeah, it was interesting. So now I got that ace. So Mrs. Cade's like, "Oh, you're watching that stuff because of da 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 da." I can go, "Ha ha!" Just throw the ace out there like I'm Gambit, and be like, "Sorry, mon chéri, your youngest watches as well, so nope, can't pull that card." And of course, I get the whatever and the eye roll. And of course, you know, I gotta be all mushy and tell her and go, "It's okay, Mrs. Cade. Even if you're being a little bit toxic, I still love you." And oh boy, does that, oh, that kicks it up again. Then it's like, get away. Oh, telling you. Some days it's a blessing knowing your significant others as long as I've known mine. Makes me kind of makes me laugh. And it's funny. I love to tease her. It's hilarious. Just sometimes some of the expressions and her reactions are funny as hell. But like she'll be like, for example, she'll be there in the kitchen, you know, like just doing dishes or cooking something, just doing whatever. And you know, she's listening to music, and you know, she's doing her thing, and she's, you know, singing along to it and all that. And I go, "Hey, who sings that?" And she'd be like, "Oh, so and so." And I'd be like, "Yeah, okay, good, let them sing it." Oh my god. Oh, it's like kicking a hornet's nest. Nice cup of tea. You know, try to serve it up. I mean, you're gonna make me in the mood for tea now. Jesus. Yeah, a good cup of tea sometimes helps. But yeah, no, I mean the whole thing was surprising because I never thought to. Oh crap! Did I get jammed? Yep. I never thought to check into something different. Oh my god, that's like way out. Whatever. It went green, we'll take it. Just reminded me the wife bought this silly coffee machine. What's wrong with making it with a kettle? No point. Steady captures in it. Yeah. What kind of machine did she buy? Did she buy like one of those pod ones, like a Keurig or something like that for you? Yeah, I mean the old fashioned coffee makers with the kettle, and then you kind of got the coffee grinds in it and all that. Yeah, I've seen the old style ones. Those ones are kind of cool. But yeah, I guess you know I don't know if she bought you a Keurig or whatever, but maybe if she did, maybe she was just thinking, just kind of pop the pod in, boom, you got a cup in like 30 seconds and you're out the door kind of thing. So maybe she just thought speed and convenience for you, didn't think that, anything else behind it, thinking that, maybe you enjoy, the that kind of thing, like the old fashioned kind of thing. So we'll take that one. We're here anyway. Yep, there's the load right there. And we'll take that. Yeah, I was way out on that one. Oof. I mean, I could have straightened it out, but still. Once she goes green, you can drop her and get your rewards. So I'm like, all right. You put this silly pod thing and it costs you twice as much. Yeah. Yeah, I get that aspect of it. I think she was just thinking, like just speed and convenience. Because if it's just you once in a while having a cup, then I get it. It depends on how much coffee you drink and stuff like that, right? Like if you have one cup a week, then that might be a good thing, because then you have a fresh cup right then and there. I know it doesn't beat the old fashioned way, but I get the thought process and the you know the wheels turning on that one. I understand that. End of the day, yeah, it's probably silly, but she's just looking at it for the point of, okay, hey, he wants a cup of coffee. He doesn't have to wait for the kettle. He doesn't have to do this. Just he can pick whatever pod he wants, whatever flavor, whatever have you. Like, there's so many different options, right? And you just pop it and boom, you go. Like, I know for me in the fall time, there's and I've got one. I don't use it anymore, simply because of just my circumstances. But I did partake in it, and I did enjoy. In the fall time, they had like almost like a hot apple cider. That was good, right? Because then if I wanted that, or a cup of coffee, or a hot chocolate, it was just pop the pod, close the thing, boom, I'm out in 30 seconds. Which was good. Like, if I was heading out, you know what I mean? I got my travel mug, boom, and go, right? Saves you a bundle from going to, the local coffee shop or wherever have you, and, or going through your drive-through and paying probably 2 or 3 times the cost of that cup anyhow, right? So at least that way you can kind of make it how you want it, and you're good to go, right? A speed and convenience thing. I get where the wheel was turning on that, but I also understand the preference to the old style, because there's a flavor and not just a flavor, there's an aroma. I don't want to make it sound silly, like it's an experience, but it's different. You know what I mean? And if you've had like coffee where you've taken the beans and ground them up yourself and made yourself a cup of coffee that way, there's a difference compared to pop a pod in and away you go. So I get it. Never for me, don't like the taste. Yeah, I mean, could be the brand, could be that particular cup. Like, I noticed, like, for me, there were certain coffees, like, for example, if it was like medium roast coffee or dark roast, depending on the brand, you had like a different flavor. Even though it's all supposed to be coffee, like nothing. It's not like, vanilla flavored coffee or anything like that, just coffee. There was a difference in taste. So I get that aspect of it. Hot drink from here is like occasionally a cup of hot chocolate. Yeah. with your, yeah, a cup of tea or hot chocolate. Yeah, you know what I mean. So in, in that aspect, like over here in Canada, we have like teapods like that. So instead of making a whole pot of tea, or a tea bag where you're sitting there waiting and whatever have you, or if you're doing it old style with the quote unquote ball and chain, and you load your tea leaves in there and do it that way. A speed and convenience thing is, yeah, pop your pod, kick her on, 30 seconds, boom, you're out the door. So, and hey, it could also be a thing for the kids, right? Because think about it, then they're not into your stuff. It's like, okay, hey, you got your pod, there you go, take your pod and be gone. You don't have them. I don't know if you guys have gas stoves over there still, but you don't have them farting around with that potentially, and but I just found it to some extent convenient and to some extent cost effective, because if I wanted, like, let's say a hot apple cider, I found a brand that I enjoyed. It gave me the perfect cup every time, and I'm like, okay, and it was literally a fraction of the cost compared to, like, if I went to the local coffee shop to get, for us it's like Tim Hortons here in Canada or Starbucks, you know what I mean, where you're paying like $5-10 for a cup of whatever. You know what I mean? You're paying maybe $1, $2, right? Because you did it at home with the pod. So depending on the usage and what you're using it for, it could be cheaper. I also used to get like there was like these, I guess, universal pods that you could use, and you could like flip the lid and put your coffee grinds into it, and then it would percolate like if it was a pod, but it was my own coffee grinds, and it was reusable, so you could wash it and reuse it. So essentially, I was using the hot water that was ready to go. All right, so I'd have my pod ready to go, fire it in, kick her on, put my travel mug there, and I'd grab my mug and out the door I'd go. So, I don't know if you have them in your neck of the woods, but that could be another avenue you could look at. Don't be silly. They don't use the stone or gas hob. 16-year-old treat like a baby, expects her to cook for him. Can't possibly get off his phone to do it, lazy. Yeah, well, I don't know. You know what I mean? Like, just benefit of the doubt. I don't want to assume that, and be like, oh yeah, I'm sure your kid's, just sitting on his duff, TikToking away, it is what it is. I mean, who knows? I mean, shit, one of the days I might assume that, and then, the kid's, like a fucking violin prodigy or some shit like that, you know what I mean? And he's going to Oxford University or Cambridge, and, who knows? Right? So, I try not to assume. You know, at least over here we have a saying, if, you know, when you assume, you make an ass out of you and me. So, wordplay, gotta love it. But yeah, no, I get it. You know what I mean? But even if they, even in that case, let's say they did, you know what I mean? It's not like you have to worry about them buggering up any of that stuff, or, you know, burning your house down or anything else, right? And you remember, boys are like that. The the brain stem, or as I'm sure my youngest is probably going to hear me saying, giggle her ass off again. You know, the cerebral cortex doesn't doesn't develop as quickly as, per se, we would want them to develop. I mean, hey, you can go through, you can go throughout history. I mean, every father said that to their son. You know, like, hey, get, you know, stop being a lazy, get up off your ass, you know, do this, do that, do something, make yourself, make something of your life. But we all remember being at that age, you know. Let's be honest. What's there's a universal truth that goes through every teenage boy's mind, and yeah, it's not chores and, you know, responsible things. They're probably too busy being chopped to bits and having chin wags with, you know, that hot bird they'd seen down in Asda or something. You know how it is. I mean, you know, let's be honest. Call a spade a spade. So, my 14-year-old daughter and your younger son will use the air fryer. That's about it. Yeah, they'll come about. They'll come about. You know, it's just, you know, stay on it. Keep teaching them. Like I tell mine, you know, I tell them all the time. I'm like, hey, take advantage right now. I go, like, learn like basic life skills, like learn how to cook and clean and all this stuff. I go, not necessarily for, you know, whenever, you know, you have your own family or whatever have you. I'm like, just for yourself as a human being, you know. I go, it's funny, like, there's the amount of people that don't know basic life skills anymore. Like, who knows how to sew and knit and, you know, stuff like that. Like, how many kids nowadays know you've got to cook, you know, things to certain temperatures, or and you got to store food in a certain way, or you get food poisoning. And so it's like, these kids don't know, you know what I mean? So, you know, and unfortunately, these are life skills that they don't teach anymore in schools. Hey, Jer. So, you know, it's important. You know what I mean? You know, it's good to learn those life skills, but, you know, they'll eventually come around and they'll figure it out, and, you know, all you can do is just hope that, you know, they come around before they bugger it up completely. The biggest laugh I get, and I tell them, I go, trust me, I go, it happens to us all. I go, you'll be like, at this moment, I knew I fucked up. When you start quoting things your parents said, or you look in the mirror and you're just like, oh shit. You're like, okay, I get it. I get what mom and dad was going on about. And, you know, I guess that's the ultimate revenge, you know, that parents get to have. They get to sit back and giggle their ass off when their kid says something to their kid. So, you know, you're there as a grandparent, you're looking down and you see your kid saying the same shit you were saying to their kid, and you're like, the good old-fashioned walk of shame after that. It's great. You didn't hear that sound alert? Are you kidding? What do you mean you didn't hear that sound alert? How did you not hear the sound alert? Okay, hold on. Let me see here. Boom, boom, boom. Sound alert. Properties. Refresh. Let's see here. Where's the aux? Advanced auto properties. Oh, hold on. Properties default. Okay, that's why. All right, hold on. Fucking Windows update. There we go. All right, hold on. Boom, boom, boom.
Why would they be twiddling their wieners?
There you go. It should, yeah, it worked there. There you go. Quick, easy fix. Windows updates. Turned everything to default because, you know, God forbid, you know, and that's what everybody wants when they do Windows updates. It's all their shit to get fucked up because, you know, Microsoft, that's why. There you go. Better now? There you go. Don't say we didn't give you nothing. All right. Let's start a job. Okay, where are we? We're in Seattle, I think. Yeah. 48 mile. Yeah, we'll take this one. There we go. It's a big old honking bitch. I'll tell you that. Screw your pylons. We don't like them. Oh no, we got to go out this way. Bing bong, bing bong. Okay, and here's the exit. All right, cool. I'll take this. So, how are things, Jar? What's new? What's exciting? Have you set a stream schedule, Jar? No, not yet. Okay, I thought you did. Wow, it's making us drive all the way around back to where we. Okay. I love the Port of Seattle. Oh, this is gonna suck. All right, well, let's see. Ooh. Damn. I will do this one. I don't think I've done an air conditioning complex before. I'll give it a shot. Oh, it's got that stupid ass end on it. It's okay. We can make it work. Worst comes to worst, we'll just push the little tail piece. We've done it before. We'll do it again if need be. You've got no gonna stream tomorrow or Friday. I've got no AC. It's gonna be near 90 Fahrenheit. Oh shit, dude. Your sack's gonna stick to your fucking legs, dude. Oh, tell me you at least got a fan or something. That's gonna suck balls. Did the AC just go on the fritz, or you just didn't have one in general? And dude, like, oof. Depending on the cost, it might be worth it, at least in the meantime, to get yourself like a window one or a portable that, you know, if that ever happens, you know, at least you've got something you can cool, at least, you know, at least a room. Like I would say, at least your bedroom. If you can cool that, at least you'll get a good night's sleep, which is important. You know what I mean? And obviously the bedroom probably not being like overtly gigantic. Because I'm sure, hey, you know, if it's just an AC being down, I'm sure those companies are booked solid. Because you're starting to get into the cooling season. Luckily, it's not like mid-July, August, because then they're gonna rake you over the coals. Because then they're gonna be like, okay, yeah, we got you by the short and curlies now. We know you're paying for it. Oof. Oh, you never had an AC. Oh. Yeah, I would get like a window one or a portable one, at least for your bedroom. I mean, I know at Walmart you could probably get yourself, relatively cheap, 5,000 to 10,000 BTU window one. I think they were what? They weren't even that expensive. Like they're like, honestly, they're probably like 2-3 year throwaways, but for the price point and the ability to at least cool your bedroom so you can have a good night's sleep at least, it might be worth it. AC I must have. When you start gaming, that room gets so hot without it sweating like hell. Drive through both Seattle tunnels. Oh, okay, there we go. Just got a Steam achievement. AC you need to maintain them or they just give up. Yeah. But it's also the cooling that they use in them. It's not the good old fashioned, good stuff. You can't get that anymore. It's a different thing now. I can't remember what it was called. God, I used to know the name of it. But yeah. I think it was like Freon or whatever they had in it before, back in the day. It was really, it was a lot more potent and a lot, from obviously a non-environmental standpoint, it was better just for cooling, but everybody got concerned about the environment and the ozone and all that other stuff, so they had to come up with an alternative, and it's not as effective. So yeah. But yeah, you used to have ACs you could just take them out at the end of the season, hose them out, dry them off, clean them up and all that stuff, wrap them and store them for the winter, and then bring them out for the summer, and you were good to go. Nowadays, especially on the ones that people can afford, you're lucky if you get 2-3 seasons out of them before they're like, you just toss them in the bin. Like with anything nowadays, nobody builds anything to last. But I mean, like I said, if it's going to be like 90 degrees Fahrenheit, you know what I mean? At least there's an option. I mean, again, I don't know if all the different laws and BS and all that jazz. I don't know legally if you can put a window AC in. I'm sure maybe you can. I'm not sure. But, either way, an air conditioner that's relatively affordable that can at least cool your bedroom, I would go with that if you could. Because like I said, at least if you're getting a good night's sleep, you'll be all right. There we go. Straight in and out. That was a nice drop. So yeah, hopefully, hopefully you can find something that's reasonable that you can use. Because yeah, oof. Yeah, yeah, that would suck. I remember those days. I remember those days. They were not fun. They were not fun at all. I don't look forward to those days, but I know they're coming. So there we go. We got that done. That's done. So I would get some of those tower fans, at least a couple. Yeah. I mean, it's just, it gets to a certain point where you're you're just blowing hot air. You know what I mean? Like that's the downside of it when you're just pushing hot air from one side to the next. You know, I mean, there's avenues you could use to kind of cool it. Like I've seen people with like, uh, kind of like they'll take like a ice, wet it, not like overtly wet it, but just dampen it enough, and then have it kind of behind the fan, in front of the fan, whatever have you, so it kind of you know push pulls that cold, and throws it towards you. But yeah, but I mean, it's just you do what you can to beat the heat. You know what I mean? Ice packs. Um, One of the things I would say is, if you're finding you're overtly hot and you want to get cold relatively quick, you want to cool your body temperature relatively quick, get yourself an ice pack, wrap it, of course, with like maybe a towel or something, and put them under your armpits. That'll cool you off real quick. So I wouldn't do it too often and for too long, because you don't want to, like, cause yourself, you know, kinds of crazy issues. But, it's just something that I found has helped. So, yeah, that's why I have AC give a nice cold in the room. Yeah. Yeah. Like, that's what I mean. Like, if you can afford it, great. You know what I mean? And if you can afford it, it's a good thing. It's, especially in today's day and age. I mean, like, some of the temperatures and with the humidity and everything that it hits, it's just crazy. Like, I know over here in Canada, they're debating on, because there's a minimum heat requirement that you, like, let's say you're renting an apartment, for example. There's a minimum heat requirement you have to be at, 365 a year. You have to be a minimum of that temperature. So now they're debating on putting in a max temperature. So you have to be within XY. You know what I mean? And yeah, it's going to be expensive for landlords, don't get me wrong, and it's a pain in the ass, because in essence you're now having to maintain all of that stuff. But to some extent, to some of the, like, especially like seniors, um I can understand why that's a good idea. You know what I mean? Because maybe necessarily they can't afford AC, or low income people, they can't afford it. So that's it's a good thing. Because yeah, some of these units, like, oh my god, you can walk in and it's like an oven. Like, literally, it's like an oven. And like, obviously you can tell the people are like, just they're just hoping for any breeze, any cold breeze. They're just like, oh, something. But yeah, some companies do a monthly plan to pay it off, especially the way the climate is getting hotter. Good investment. No, I agree with you. But I mean, let's be honest, life gaming, there's some people nowadays, it's they have to choose between, sometimes it's, do you eat or do you pay your rent? dude, it's fucked up, and there's people out there who are working like full-time jobs and then part-time jobs on top of that to try and make ends meet, and it's just sometimes you can't do it. I know, to some people, it's you're even to hear it, logically we're like, that's fucking insane, but there's tons of people that are living that right now. So I see both sides of it. It's, it's good that there's options to do stuff like that, and it's good that companies recognize that potential avenue of maybe they're not going to sell the product outright, but they can help in the long term and still get the product sold in the end, through payment plans and stuff like that. But there's just some people that can't afford to pay attention. So especially with the electricity costs nowadays, like, oh my freaking Lord, it's crazy. Yeah, I know, because they're making food and bills so expensive now. No, and that's the thing, right? I mean, something's going to give. Who knows what it'll be, but it is what it is. It's one of those things. But yeah. All right. I'm going to call it here. I'm going to put a raid out. I was hoping Painless was going to come by so we could have got some Skull and Bones done, because I told him we were going to do that. And, I don't know, but, maybe we'll catch him on another stream and we'll give it a shot. But yeah. If anybody does see Painless, probably Jar, you might see him, let him know. Go, hey, Kate was looking for you for that Skull and Bones run. But yeah, I mean, it is what it is. But let's get a raid going. Who's online? Let's see here. All right, let's see, who do we got? We've got Fallout 4, Hades 2, of course, World of Tanks. We've got some retro gaming. Your guys, you pick it and we'll stick it. Okay, I'll see you on the next one. Enjoy the rest of your evening. You too, Life Gaming. I appreciate you hanging out and all that good stuff. Hopefully everybody sticks around for the raid. But yeah, let's see here. Let's see here. You know what? I know who I'm going to raid. I don't get a chance to raid this person often. So we'll go and raid him. Please stick in on this raid. It'd be nice. I know maybe, hey, we don't have monster numbers tonight, but, any little bit helps, and, hey, spread some good vibes and all that good stuff. But they got drops. They're, a good dude. And, we'll go over and say hi to them. They're doing some, World of Tanks. I know maybe not everybody's cup of tea, but hey, they're an awesome dude. So let's hopefully get in on that and go from there. But yeah, thank you everybody for hanging out, tuning in, all that good stuff. We will catch you Friday for some more Panzerkampf in the morning, 11:30, 12 noonish Eastern time. We'll do Panzerkampf, and then Friday night. Who knows? We'll see. Maybe some Skull and Bones, maybe some Division, maybe some Truck Simulator. We got some time between now and then to figure out what we're going to do. So, we'll just play it by ear. We'll go from there. But thank you, everybody, for tuning in. And give a shout out to our buddy Jarhead here on our way out. Give him a follow. It's awesome and free to do. But yeah. Till the next one, you guys take her easy, stay chilled, and stay frosty, folks. We'll catch you. A2Kate is out. Have a good night, everybody. Thank you for tuning in.